Before Rocket League was free to play, before esports, battle passes, and titanium white Phoenix, there was just this: a ball, 2 goals, and a soundtrack that made it all feel bigger than it really was. You didn't notice it at first, but the music, it was always there waiting. It wasn't just background noise, it was part of the experience. It hyped you up when you queued, it comforted you after a rough loss, and sometimes it was the only thing keeping you from uninstalling after a solo queue. Rocket League was special, but the music made it unforgettable. This is a story about the songs that defined a game and why they still hit harder than ever.
Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses.
2015. Rocket League had just launched. There was no item shop, no blueprints, no trading, painted variants, or sweaty meta. No one cared about MMR, clips, or YouTube montages. Half of us didn't even know what ranked meant. You just booted up the game and played. That was it. And the gameplay? It was kind of a disaster. But it was a beautiful, hilarious disaster. You spend the whole match ball chasing, jumping at randoms, backflipping when you meant to flip forward. Back then, an area was just jumping and hoping. And if someone actually flew off the wall, everyone in the lobby typed, "Wow," like it was magic. But between the chaos, there was calm. You'd sit in the menu staring at your car with one song looping softly in the background. That menu music didn't try to pump you up. It wasn't made to sell you a season pass, it was just there, and it stuck with you. You didn't have many cars, there were only a handful to choose from, but each one felt like a commitment. Even small changes, like swapping out your trail or choosing a new topper, felt like a big deal. You weren't curating a loadout, you weren't building your identity. Maybe your friend finally got online, or maybe you solo queued into chaos mode just for laughs. You didn't care if you lost, you cared if you improved, even a little bit. Replay was a mystery, you didn't know how to train. You just hit the ball around until something cool happened by accident. And when it did happen, it felt like a personal highlight, even if no one else saw it. After each match, win or lose, you returned to the menu, and that music was still playing. Familiar, patient, and forgiving. It was like the game was saying, "You're still learning. It's okay. Take your time." There were no titles to chase, no grand champ wheels. You weren't playing to rank up. You were playing to feel good. And somehow that vibe, that mix of chaos and calm, made Rocket League one of the most unique games ever made. Rocket League gave you space to improve, to fail, to grow. And the music, it gave you something even more important, a reason to stay. Rocket League used to be quiet, simple. It asked for nothing. It gave you a field, a car, and time. Time to try again. Time to get better. Time to just sit there. But then the music changed. Not in a bad way, just in a way you noticed. Suddenly the game had a heartbeat. It didn't just sit still anymore. It moved. You didn't even realize how long you'd been listening. You weren't playing yet. You were feeling something. You didn't just choose the song. It just showed up one day. And somehow it was exactly what Rocket League felt like. Fast but not aggressive, dreamy but still sharp. It matched those quiet moments when you loaded into free play. Not to warm up, not to grind, but because you didn't really feel like doing anything else. Rocket League was changing, the mechanics were getting harder, the skill ceiling was going up, but that one song made you feel like you were enough. Even on your worst games when nothing worked, and your rotations were off and solo queue felt like a punishment, you'd go back to the menu and there it was. Still playing, still calm. It felt like the game knew how much effort you were putting in, how long you'd been trying, how many hours you spent in free play, pretending you were just warming up when really you just didn't want to lose again. You weren't going for clips, you weren't chasing MMR, you were chasing a feeling, and for a while, Rocket League gave it to you. Like it understood the part of you that didn't want to sweat all the time, the part that missed when it was okay to just hang out. You didn't need to win, you didn't need to rank up, you just needed something to hold on to, and that song, it held you. Rocket League didn't just add music, it gave us something to come back to, something that reminded us why we ever loved the game in the first place, something that told us it's okay to stay here a while. In 2020, Rocket League changed forever. It went free to play. Seasons replaced crates, battle passes arrived. Everything got cleaner, sleeker, faster. The game didn't just get bigger, it became different. The music caught up. You could feel it in the menu. This wasn't the same game anymore. It had a pulse now. Not a heartbeat like before, something sharper, tighter, more focused. This was the age of grind. Not just learning how to fly, but learning how to move with precision. Every touch had intent, every session had purpose, and the music mirrored that. Tracks like Waiting didn't tell you what to do, they just built this quiet tension, like the match was already happening before you had even queued. They were cinematic but never overwhelming, energetic but never chaotic. These songs trusted you to bring the emotion. It was the kind of music that said, "You're not there yet, but you will be." For a while, this was the grind era. Everyone was improving, fast aerials were standard, ceiling shots were routine. You weren't impressed anymore, you were expected. And after every game, you'd return to that menu, that same quiet rhythm. The pulse was still there, still ready, still waiting. You didn't always notice how well the music fit, but that's the thing. It wasn't meant to be noticed. It was there to carry you through the moments you didn't talk about, the ones where you felt stuck, frustrated, burnt out, or alone. This era didn't give you nostalgia, not yet, but it gave you structure, it gave you space. And if you sat in the menu long enough, you'd realize something. You weren't rushing anymore, you were listening.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and on
At 2022, Rocket League wasn't just a game anymore. It was a product, a platform, a billboard, and the music, it followed. Everything got faster, everything got brighter, and the music, well, it got louder. This wasn't the era of signature songs, this was the playlist era. Every season had something new, but nothing stuck. You didn't listen to the music anymore, you skipped it, you clicked past it, you loaded in. The songs fit the pace of the game, but not always the emotion of it. They were curated to keep you moving, not to help you reflect. You didn't have time to feel nostalgic, you had tiers to unlock, challenges to complete, bundles to preview. For the first time in years, a lot of us stopped listening, not on purpose, we just forgot what it feels like to just sit in the game, to let the single song hold you for a while. The music was still good, still produced, still technically great, but it didn't feel like it was yours anymore. It felt like it belonged to the brand. You stopped associating music with the memories and started associating it with the menus. This wasn't about grinding anymore. This wasn't about finding peace. This was the scroll era. If it didn't catch your attention in 5 seconds, it didn't matter. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't for you anymore. It was for everyone. Rocket League still sounded great, but for the first time, it didn't sound like you. The soundtrack kept evolving, but we stopped feeling it. We don't remember every patch, every rank, every loss, but we remember the music. Not because it was perfect, but because it was there when we needed it. Every track became a memory, a moment, a reminder. This isn't just Rocket League's soundtrack, it's ours.